Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love is Blind, Season 8, Episode 4.
Listen here, we are on Episode 4, but me and Blair, we have finished 6 episodes. So make sure in Episode 4, for everybody else, do not spoil it. You won't spoil it for us because we saw it, but just be mindful of everybody else. Can I ask y'all that? You think that's fair?
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I ain't going to block you if you spoil it. I'm just going to be like, dag, you.
Every man for themselves, okay?
I'm about to say, like, I'm moving on. The minute I post this video, I got to edit other videos. So I'm not going to be in the comment section that much. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Subscribe, like, share, comment. There we go.
All right.
You ready, Blair?
Yes.
Let's go.
So we're starting with Ben and Sarah. They are both feeling good about each other. He asks if she is his girlfriend now, and he tells her that he's falling in love with her. And of course she says yes. Now they talk politics.
Nice.
So she grew up in a conservative household. She didn't get into politics until Trump got into office, and the George Floyd situation, which actually happened in Minneapolis.
Yes.
He didn't vote in the last election. He said as long as, it doesn't affect him, like it's not something that he really gets into. Sarah asked him his thoughts about Black Lives Matter, and his response was he keeps out of it.
Whoa.
Sarah says that it's important to think about those things. She thinks it's important to speak up for what matters. He chooses to stay out of all of that. He asks, could you marry someone who is not basically who has the same beliefs as you, as everything you do? And Sarah does need someone to be on the same page as her about human rights. He says that his beliefs do kind of lean towards her side, but he doesn't know how to really go about it.
Oh boy.
And one more thing is Sarah, like in the confessional, said that she can't teach people fundamental values.
No, you cannot. My sister from another mister. Black Lives Matter, okay?
Keep on watching. Keep on watching.
Black Lives Matter, right? Listen, I'm on this episode, Black Lives Matter, right? Here's the thing about it, right?
Yes, for us. I don't know about Sarah. Sarah a little shaky to me.
Here's the thing about it. Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
Right? Now, here's the thing. Not picking a side is picking a side. Right. And when I say specifically, I'm really talking specifically about Ben, what he said. He said, I don't really get into all that. I'm just like, it's not really that hard. It's really nothing. It's really not that much to get into, really.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually unique to their situation because they are in the city where a lot of the stuff popped off at with George Floyd and things like that.
Right.
So for him to really give a opinion to basically eject himself from actually any accountability seems kind of weird and just off-putting.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I will also say I find it very funny of how he came into the pod basically saying he have a girlfriend now. She came into the pod like, I don't know about this guy because of their social differences and things like that, or just his social, just like
ignorance.
And the thing about it is no one's asking Ben to put on a dashiki during Black History Month. No one's not even asking you to particularly pick a side of what you think happened right or wrong, but it's just how he came off with, that got nothing to do with me, I ain't worried about that. And truth be told, a lot of people may feel that way, but Sarah, if this is important to you, that's gonna be an issue down the line if this is important to you. You get what I'm saying? Yeah,
I was definitely put off by his response.
Yeah.
There's so many people in this country, especially like white people, who, because an issue doesn't affect them, they have no viewpoint about it, and they consider it all politics when really it's a matter of human rights and decency. And for him to not be able to talk to her about what is right, what is wrong, what his beliefs are, it sounds like he's just kind of trying to pander to her in order to get her to say yes to the proposal. Because I just don't believe he's as middle of the road as he says he is. I really think that he might have some beliefs that go against hers. And even if his might be a little more middle of the road, even though I don't believe it, the people and the friends and family that he chooses to surround himself with, if he hasn't had to confront these issues and actually make an opinion about them, it makes me wonder about the people that he spends his time with. And with Sarah having her sister who is gay and her saying that she cares about these issues and she actually, has a stance about it, about, people being treated with respect and fair and all that type of stuff, that's going to be an issue when she gets around his people, especially if he's the type of person to not speak up if something is wrong. So I'm glad that in this moment she's acknowledging like, he didn't vote. He's kind of like not really with a backbone when it comes to serious topics. Like, I don't really know if I can rock with this. So
we'll see. Right now, I'm banging with it.
Yeah. So we move on to Mason and Madison. He tells her that he is here with her. He wants to trust his feelings, and he has been thinking a lot about her.
Nice.
Madison tells him, well, that's not quite clear because you haven't been very clear. And Mason makes it as clear as he can by saying that he's committed to her. He didn't feel like it was an ultimatum or pressure that she was giving him. She appreciates him saying that. She talks about how she was a church girl and a nerd growing up. They both like to talk like sex with each other, so they're kind of like having like little flirty sex conversations. She also wants to know what he thinks she looks like, and he just automatically thinks she's gorgeous. So she ends up telling Sarah that she talked to her number 2, but he just committed to her. She doesn't know how she feels about it yet, and it sucks because it might send someone else home.
Well, keep this in mind. Y'all got to keep notes on this because this going to come up again.
This is a pivotal conversation.
Yeah, this is a pivotal conversation for episodes down the road and things like that. But so far, what are your thoughts on Mason? You feel like he's being decisive yet?
In this moment, I felt like he was by saying that he was committed to her.
Yeah.
And I was glad that he was actually finally expressing himself and where he stood. And I understand that these people have to date and have to kind of get to the point where they can make their decision. But I felt like Mason wasn't giving either of them anything to go off of to really know where they stood. So I was happy that he made something known, Something. Yes.
Yeah.
Then we get to Mason's conversation with Meg. She asks how he feels about them together, and because he's been holding his cards close.
Yeah.
Mason says that their connection doesn't have to be put into words. It's just crazy how similar they are. If a guy says that to you, that's BS. Give me the words.
That's not BS.
Give me the words. That's BS.
You left me speechless. That is what I'm gonna say. I'm speechless, baby.
Nah.
You get what I'm saying? No, it's kind of funny because I'm like, okay, so now that I'm blind because love is blind, now I'm a mute too. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I can't see you and we can't talk. How are we gonna connect?
Exactly.
but listen, I understand Mason.
Meg feels like they're similar and opposite in the right ways, and they can talk about the depths of life.
Okay.
Meg asks, what does love mean to you? Mason says that having a big container of ice cream and letting your partner get the best bite. Meg says helping each other learn, grow, and evolve as people. She tells him that her butt tingles when she's nervous, but it really only happens during breakups. It's never wrong. It only happens during breakups pretty much. She would like to know if he's strongly connecting with someone else, and just don't just not show up one day. If something is changing or shifting, keep me in the know. Mason thinks that she's a beautiful person, and she can feel free to ask him any questions.
Your butt only tingles whenever there's a breakup, huh?
And now I got to take back what I said about Mason finally giving Madison something, because was that even genuine? Because you're talking to Meg after you said you were committed to Madison, and you're still continuing in the conversation as though she's a potential option.
Yeah.
So what does commitment mean to Mason? I don't know.
I'm speechless.
We're asking Mason, what does love mean? But what does commitment mean?
Hey, we'll see.
So Meg comes back to the ladies' lounge excited, saying that they're all leaving engaged.
Okay.
We move on to Alex and Madison. He surprised her with a nice little snack.
Yeah.
He's been looking to buy a house, and he's asking her what her dream house looks like.
Nice.
Madison would like arts, plants, cozy vibe. For him, he would like a fireplace, a hot tub, open field for his dog, and to play some sports.
Okay.
She also would love a garden. They say they think they need a house together, and they could build their dream house together. She doesn't really have an ideal place of where she would live. He talks about how he has been in love before. She has loved but not been in love. To be in love, she thinks you would have to picture a future with someone, and that's not something that she's done. Alex says that they've talked about some of her issues, and he says he accepts her as she is, and he will be here to support her.
Nice.
Madison says that when she went into her first date, she was disappointed that it wasn't Alex. She thinks her other connection might just be a friend. And she tells Alex she wants him and only him.
Now watch this. This is important. Who is her other connection, Blair?
Mason.
Now, she said it here that, hey, my other connection, I see him more as a friend. You get what I'm saying? So I'm excited to be with you. This is very important.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, y'all, in episode 4, okay?
He asks if she'll be his girlfriend, and she says yes. Now she just has to break up with the other guy.
Oh, man.
He asked who else she was dating, and she asked him to say first. He mentions Meg. Well, he wasn't dating Meg, so scratch that from the record.
Okay.
Anyway, she says that Meg started acting weird towards her after they found out that they were dating the same people, and she tells him that she has to break things off with Mason.
I was turned off by Alex during this conversation because this is Love is Blind. You're not asking people to be your girlfriend, kid.
Okay.
Okay, like I don't understand. The whole point is not to ask somebody to be your girlfriend. The whole point is that, hey, you're dating in the pods.
See, I wasn't mad at that.
No, I was.
It's not engagement time yet.
No,
it's like a little cute thing.
No, we don't have time to be cute.
Okay.
Are you gonna get he's asked, so he gets asked 2 questions?
I got you. You getting on that knee or not?
Like, basically, like, so that's why I'm like, Alex, I understand you're going through whatever you're going through, and you're going through on your pace, but we on episode 4, and we gotta get to the retreats within the next 2 episodes.
Hopefully.
And now you over yeah, hopefully, right? And now you're over here talking about, will you be my girlfriend? No. If this was a boyfriend girlfriend thing, this would be something different. This is Love is Blind. Get that ring out, make a decision, propose to a connection that you have.
All right.
Don't try to delay it, because this is just a delay. You get what I'm saying? Don't try to delay it in the sense of, well, she's my girlfriend now, and I still get to basically talk and delay the process. I'm not with it.
So Madison tells the other ladies that she has a boyfriend. Meg now knows that she's going to break up with Mason, but Meg doesn't want to be second choice. Alex tells the guys that he has a girlfriend. He tells Devon that he knows who she's going to have to break up with.
Yeah.
And Mason comes over, hugs him, pulls up a chair, congratulates him, and wants to chill and start a conversation with him. He is none the wiser.
Listen, Devon is like, this is like a TV show right here, because this is weird. You know what I mean? And guess what? I like the fact that Alex has some compassion towards Mason, but at the end of the day, this will confuse you in the mission. The mission is not so much to make friends in the quarters.
True.
And the mission is not to have a girlfriend. So, like, all of this, it just delayed the process and made things more complicated, in my opinion.
And I really don't think Madison should have told Mason all the other parties involved. I felt like she could have held that until after the pods.
Yeah.
Because you got to be in close quarters with these people. And maybe she felt like, I already know Meg is dating my person, so he can know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not totally like criticizing her for that, but it just made things more awkward than it needed to be. I felt like the guys had a better arrangement over there in their quarters.
Yeah.
We get to Brittany and Devon.
Okay.
He can see a future with her. She wants someone who is comfortable to come to her about anything.
Nice.
So he takes his time to open up to her. He played basketball, and in his senior year of high school, he had really bad back and leg pain. He went through a lot of treatments to try to fix it. He dealt with it. He still played. He was taking ibuprofen and was taking more and more medication day by day. It got to the point where he would ask himself, like, what's the point of continuing through life if he can't do what he loves? So he turned to God, and after speaking with God, he got confirmation that he should talk to another doctor. Okay. So he talked to a doctor. He had surgeries on both of his hips, and the pain went away completely.
Nice.
He says that if he didn't put his trust in God, it wouldn't have turned out that way.
Stop right here. Off of this alone, they are both blabbering. They are crying. Right?
Oh, yeah, blubbering. Yeah.
Yeah, blubbering. Sorry. Yeah. They are blubbering. He's crying. She's feeling the story. She's crying. She's over here trying to put her hand over her mouth, because I could just tell her already she's a loud crier. You know, she made noise. So far, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the connection. We are at episode 4. So it's like, this is the time where we kind of get off surface level conversation. Right. He's over here talking about, I was just 2 at one point, 4 at one point. He got as high as 16 to 20 pills, right? Of basically just trying to get rid of the pain. And now I'm like, oh, I'm liking this. I can see it for Devon and B. Dot. You get what I'm saying? Continue on.
So Brittany, as you said, is crying for him and tells him, look, we all need assistance and nothing and no one is perfect in this world.
No one.
Brittany shares that she dated women, but never considered being with a woman long term. She's had a few experiences with women, but she's always envisioned herself marrying a man. He asks if she still has interest in women, and Brittany says that she just feels people are beautiful and it's about the person that she connects with.
Okay.
And Devon asks, so are you not interested in women anymore? And she's saying whoever she's with, and she is a monogamous person.
Okay.
He feels good to know that she would only be with him.
Yeah.
He appreciates her transparency, but that is a lot for him to process.
Yeah.
He's never been with someone who has been with someone of the same sex. But that doesn't change how he feels about her as a person. He just needs to take some time to think about it. And Brittany tells him that it would have been nice to hear it doesn't matter, but she appreciates his perspective.
Yeah.
And Devon tells her again, he just needs to process it. He wasn't expecting to hear that.
Boy, those tears dried up the minute she started talking, boy. Immediately. Yeah. He sat up and everything. Blake, give me your thoughts on this.
Oh man, this is just such like a sensitive topic. And the reason I say that
is
it is because like people's sexuality can be hard for them. And my thing is like with Brittany, the way that she explained it, like Devon had to ask multiple clarifying questions because it wasn't clear. Like, so are you bisexual? Do you consider yourself a lesbian? Like you say you want to marry a man, but are you attracted to men?
Yes.
It's just like left a lot of questions in the air. And I don't think she did a great job, at least from what we saw, of explaining like her attraction. However, I'll give her this. She said that she's attracted to a person. So maybe just the person she's with is, and that's who she's attracted to.
Yeah.
But the way she put it, it sounded like she was more inclined towards women. So I don't fault for Devon for kind of being a little confused because it's not as though she's like really affirming him. Like, I want to be with you. I want to be with a man. Like, I would be attracted to you. I wouldn't feel the need to want to be with the woman, even though, that's what I'm saying. I want to be careful because she did say that she, is with her person. She's a monogamous person.
Yeah.
But the way that it came across that maybe Brittany might not be completely clear in her sexuality.
Yeah.
So with that kind of being the essence of the conversation, I don't fault Devon for not being 100% sure about continuing with her. I do think that, yes, there's another side to it where some people don't want to date someone who has dated the same sex and they prefer not to be with someone who's done that. And if that's Devon's perspective, he can definitely choose to be with a partner who has only been with the opposite sex. And the thing is, Brittany came out like maybe she felt like really comfortable, like he would be accepting of her. And that's the thing with being on Love is Blind and talking to a stranger. Like, they don't really know you.
Yeah.
And that's something that someone can choose to take or leave. And I would hope that, even though it seems she was a little bit hurt by it,
she was.
I would hope that she would realize that that is the other person's choice to make, to take or leave. Yeah.
Look, man, I'm sorry. I was laughing during this scene, right? I rewinded 2 times, right? Because he was there basically pouring his heart out, basically like, I broke my back doing basketball, and like without basketball, it was hard for me to find reasons to basically keep going in life. I was taking 2 pills to 4 pills to 10 pills to 16 pills to 20 pills, and she's over there like, oh my God, she's just there basically. Then that's when, I gave my life to the Lord, and then I went to the doctor. I got surgery on both of my hips, and I guess what? Now no more pain. Now I can play basketball, and I'm happy with my life. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. I like women. And he was like, excuse me?
Yeah. That pretty much was his response. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, right? I'm thinking about rewinding it 2 more times, right? The thing that I think would have gave me the same pause, right? Because there's a lot of things that's compounded in this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
There's the whole religious aspect of it, because he said he gave his life to God. So based on his belief, his family beliefs, how he feels about, being with someone who may take part of that life, right? But I actually want to take away the religious aspect of it, because I don't want to get into that. I want to get into how she worded it, right? She said that even though she had these experiences, with the same sex and things like that. She said, but I can never see myself marrying a woman. And I'm just like, but that doesn't answer the question, or it leaves the question more of, you can marry whoever you marry, but who are you into? Right. You get what I'm saying? Because you can be fully into women and things of that nature, but for social constructs and things like that, you can just be like, well, I'm gonna marry a man because like socially that's what's more acceptable than me marrying a woman. So that's why I'm like, Devon had the right to ask those questions. Saying that whoever you're with, I'm going to be monogamous, that don't really give me peace in the sense of, well, what are you into? I would have asked more questions in the sense of, have you ever slept with a man? Have you ever been intimate with a man? Because I have no problem with you, honestly, with you having experiences with the same sex if you are a woman and things like that. But what is your preference? And I don't want you to be unhappy in a marriage because you want to make sure that on the surface it looks normal.
Right. Absolutely.
Dude, like, you get what I'm saying?
I'm there with you.
Yeah. Like so that's why I would have. Now here's the thing about it, because let me give her bail to get her out of jail, right? I don't know, Devon, some things I just would have accepted what she said, because she was very accepting of you, bruh. Of you talking about how you had no hips. And then, like,
he had no hips.
He ain't had no hips. And then the doctor gave him new hips, and now he playing basketball again. And in that moment, if she shared her story, right, especially since she was like, I'm happy that you shared, and then you could just tell by the context and how the mood is, she's sharing something. I think in that moment, you should just accept it, right? And just guess what? Use another pod date to get more questions. Let it marinate. Don't let it marinate on the spot in front of her. You get what I'm saying? Because then she have the right to be like, I wish you was more accepting, because I'm over here on the floor crying as if that's my hips and back. You get what I'm saying? So I wish he would have been at least more open in the sense of, thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for actually feeling my pain while I was sharing my story, and thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate where we are in our relationship. And then you go and you let that marinate, then you come back the next day and then ask those questions, in my opinion. Because I do think it kind of did rub on her the wrong way, because it kind of rubbed on me the wrong way. I ain't gonna hold you. Once I got done laughing about like how many times, I don't care if she's into men or women, how many times women's gonna basically empathize with us and basically like be there for you, even though she may feel like, what you're going through is maybe big or small. In that moment, I just wish he would have showed up for her just a little bit more, but he has the right to ask those questions. But I just think wrong time in that moment.
Agreed. And I just wanted to emphasize your point of like, will you be satisfied in a marriage with a man?
Yeah.
And I think that was like the biggest overarching question, because you want to be married to a man because why?
Yeah.
Like, is it, like you said, family, society, like, or
it's a whole bunch of
things. So that's a huge piece so anyway, so Devon doesn't know who his number one is yet.
Oh no. Devon knows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Virginia says that she is trying to leave here with Devon. She talks about how Brittany and Devon have this basketball connection, but that's a lot of basketball for one house.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was laughing at that too.
I'm like, Virginia, you ain't gotta be all shady like that. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
So anyway, Devon and Virginia chat. Devon says that everything should be put on a table within the next few days. Virginia does have feelings for him. He has feelings for her as well. The only thing that is holding him back is her not really getting deep and talking about things. Okay. And she tells him that she's shy.
Oh, okay.
We ain't got time for shyness. Okay. We ain't got time for it. We got how many days in the pause? It feels like about 20,000.
Who knows, right?
Devon says that the next step is engagement, so I need to know everything about you. Virginia hasn't had the healthiest relationships in the past. She has been gaslit, picked apart. She has been dating, but she doesn't put much effort into it. She actually likes people pursuing her because that means she doesn't have to be as vulnerable. Devon gets her struggle, but he has to be sure of her. Virginia tells him that she has a great life. She's here because she met him, and she thinks he's an amazing person and can see a future with him. Devon tells her the story of the back pain and about his faith in God. She cries for him. She appreciates him sharing that with her. She feels like he has a good foundation of, where to go when tough things in life happens. She knows in marriage that you sign up for life with each other, and she also needs somebody who will pray with her.
Listen here, Devon was like, okay, let's try this again. So like when I was playing basketball in high school, I got injured and my back got really bad, and like it was just pain all over. It was pain all over my body, and then like I was just hooked on pills. It started with 1 pill, then 2 pills, then 6 pills, then 10 pills, then 20 pills, and it was hard to find reasons to live. But you know, I believed in God, and then like He told me go to the doctor. I went to the doctor. He gave me 2 new hips, and I got new hips because of the surgery, and I felt no more pain, and now I found reasons to live. And this is my story. Don't be gay. Don't be gay. Please don't be gay. Please don't be gay. Oh my goodness, I feel so sorry for you. I'm straight. And he was like, okay, good.
Okay.
That's basically how the story went. He told the same story. He cried on the same parts. You get what I'm saying? And she basically was like, oh yes, I like men, and I just want someone to pray for me. And I was just like, oh, don't tell me this. Don't tell me don't tell me that just because she had the opposite reaction, that just automatically eliminated B dot now. I'm like, I understand that you may have your reasons, but I'm like, give it a day to marinate. I feel like in the moment he was just looking for a different reaction that basically catered to his reaction, right? My thing is, look, if you're gonna share your story, don't be surprised if someone share their story, and their story may be something that you may not believe in or something that you may have questions to. There's nothing wrong with having questions. I just feel like, hey, you should have literally just took a day before you said what you said to B dot and just let it marinate on both parties. But now, whole time, he's completely 100% with Virginia, because the minute that she says that I want someone to pray with me and things like that, oh yeah, that whole like religious aspect to it, especially since he just found God and things like that, he's 100% sold on Virginia. B dot is gone.
Yeah, my thing with Virginia, I'm still a little bit underwhelmed by the way she won't share.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, she's still not giving you much.
Yeah,
Devon.
exactly.
She's really not. And I hear what she says about not wanting to be vulnerable. And I think that is something that could be worked on in a relationship. But I don't think that that's someone that you jump into an engagement with.
Yeah.
Virginia got some work to do. She should have done a little bit more work before she came.
Here's to your point. You hit the nail on the head 100%, right?
Yeah.
I feel like with B dot, he has a right. Don't be afraid to confront what you like have questions on. Don't be afraid to be like, I have questions about this. Can we talk about this tomorrow? Yeah. I felt like I felt like whatever the conflict was in B dot and Devon's conversation should have led to more conversations and more questions. Agreed. Right? Mm-hmm. But this one, he just accepting that the fact that she's fully heterosexual, right? And that she's basically like, because he said, I'm shy. And I'm like, you don't really know much about her.
Right.
Like, I'm just like, at least with B dot, I said this in the previous reviews of Love is Blind. I said, I'd rather accept somebody who give me all the cards on the table. That way I can talk. By her not talking and by them really not having really deep conversation, I don't know what her cards are.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I felt bad for B dot, but in the same way, I gotta be like, he has the power to choose, I guess. But I just feel like he just chose because, you know, Virginia's into men 100%.
Yeah. So then we go to Taylor and Daniel. She tells the same stories over and over again. She knows she gets it from her mom.
Yeah.
She does get frustrated with her mom because of it, but with her dad being sick, she's finding a little bit more grace for her mom, and just letting her tell the stories. Life is too short. She does tell him that if something goes wrong with her dad, like she's going to have to up and leave the process. There was a little situation, but it ended up getting handled. Okay. And of course, today she's still here. Well, Daniel says that if you ever need anything, you want to talk about anything, like he would be here for her. Even if you needed to leave, he says, I will come find you.
Yeah.
They both have the fear that this is too good to be true. He's not letting that take over him, though. And she knows she's an overthinker, but he makes her feel secure and safe. Okay. So Molly and Dave regrets asking the girls what's wrong with him.
Oh, you think?
But he says that was just him trying to keep things light. Dave needs to work on his personality.
I'm about to say, I think he's more on the reaction to it than the actual, like, because if there wasn't a bad reaction to it, I think he would have had no problem with it. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah.
He asked if there's any specific ring that Molly would like.
Yeah.
And Molly says she really doesn't know the names of rings, but she likes gold, maybe like an emerald or something. He likes gold as well. And Molly David wonders if his dad is holding on to his mom's ring for him since she did pass away. Molly says that she would be honored to have it, but maybe it would be better suited for his sister. She could make a necklace out of it, you know, keepsake from her mom. Dave would like his wife to have her own ring. He does tell her that he is talking to another woman, but Molly has been his number one since the first day.
Okay.
She hasn't been pressuring him about his decision, and it makes him like her more. And Molly is confident in their relationship.
Okay.
So Lauren can't.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. A question just came to mind.
Okay.
About that. If I would have gave you my mother's ring, you would have accepted it?
Yeah, I would have accepted it
as your engagement ring.
Yeah.
Okay. The only reason why I thought what he said was strange is because Dave is the one that basically said my sister feel like no one is good enough for me and things like that, and I'm like, you don't have the common sense. Molly got to have the common sense for you that maybe like before you start giving away your dead mother's jewelry and things like that to a stranger that like maybe you should keep it in the family, that maybe they would want it. You get what I'm saying? I feel like the main reason why his sisters may not like anybody that Dave is with have to do with Dave. And also, I'm also tired of, because we saw this on Love is Blind last season too. Stop giving anyone's in your family that passed away jewelry to strangers. Okay, if your mother or your sister or whoever mean that much to you, do not give it to someone that you haven't seen or even interacted with yet.
Agreed.
You get what I'm saying? Keep it in the family.
So Lauren can't take being around Molly. It's making her second guess her situation. If Dave talks to them both the same way, it makes her feel like he's being manipulative. She doesn't think that he is, but she's trying to figure out if she's delusional or if Molly is. And Molly has guessed that Lauren is the other girl.
Okay.
So Dave and Lauren talk. Lauren says, well, your other girlfriend Molly said that she was your number one connection. Lauren asked, did he say that? And if that's how you feel, then I don't really need to be here.
Well, okay.
Dave didn't want to get caught up in the girl drama, and Lauren tells him that he needs to figure out what he wants. He's been her number one since day one. So I'm going to compare the dates between Lauren and Molly.
Okay.
I really don't think that Molly is here with us in reality. And not to say, because Dave has told her that she is his number one. And I think that Molly is just so happy to be getting chose that she's not really trying to figure out, number one, if he is a good match for her. And also, he's not being held accountable for the things that he says and does. He's saying you're his number one. He's totally into you and all this type of stuff, but he's still going on dates with Lauren. You're going to the ladies' lounge talking about y'all locked in, that's your man and all that type of stuff, and kind of being a little boastful about it. And with Lauren, I feel like she is really trying to have a real relationship with him and saying like, hey, you know, if you're telling people you're the number one and all this type of stuff, like, am I chopped liver? Like, what are we even having these conversations for? And so I really appreciate Lauren holding Dave to task for him to figure out what he wants and to say what it means and means what he says. I don't think that you should be telling the person, especially if you have multiple connections, who's your number one, who's your number two, because especially in Molly's situation, she running back and telling everybody she's the number one. So
well, listen here, I think it's all part of the love is blind game, but I agree with you. If I am the guy, Dave, I wouldn't tell nobody who's number one or number two, because at the end of the day, you would know that you're number one when I get down on my knee and say, will you marry me? So this whole thing of that's why they give you a scorecard. They don't give y'all matches scorecards. You get your scorecard and what you do. But here's the thing about it. They trying to be manipulative because now they trying to game the system. They know that the women go back there and talk and basically sabotage each other and things like that, and trying to basically gain an edge by saying, well, you're my number one. Well, you're my number one. And basically making it Hunger Games. You get what I'm saying? To where really, stop telling people where they rank and basically make a decision, Mason. Make a decision, Dave. You get what I'm saying? To where it's like, we would know who your number one is, based on who you get down on one knee for. That's all.
Yeah, and that's all I got.
Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share, comment. We will do episode 5 right now.
Bye.